yo, this guy is dirty, and he got washed clean into a clean Chinese boy, right? Oh, you can't eat that. It's with chopsticks.
I mean, it also said like, is it too big for you? Like,
They really thought like
yeah,
Asian
old-fashioned,
people or
which is-
Chinese people were
yeah.
like just goofy looking, bro.
Yeah.
But I think that these guys are just thinking to themselves, what does a terrorist look like? Probably he has one of these scarves, right? Racism. What's that about? It's when you're upset because someone else is born in a location that's not close enough to the location you were born. Let's look at some racist ads today. Today I have with me Lee. He is one of the co-founders of Hyperfilm and director, and he's directed ads for the likes of New Balance, Huawei, Nike, to name a few. And he's also made a very successful short film. So welcome on the show, Lee.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Cool. Listen, I have you on today because you're Chinese, in my opinion. Would you agree?
Yes.
Great.
Last time I checked, yeah.
That makes you qualified to help me with some of these ads right here. This one, I guess I missed out in my last video. You know this one, Lee. Everyone knows this one. Let's just go for it. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's great, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, it was really like, I think it was viral. Yeah, it went viral on the Chinese, like on the social media stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it went viral everywhere. I mean, I think let's finish watching it just for those who haven't seen it yet, and then I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Hell yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
What do you have to say for yourself there? You didn't make this one, right?
I mean, yeah, I didn't. It's very racist, but also, what else?
I mean, I guess I'm curious. The one thing I want to know is, how was this perceived? Were people shocked when this came out in China, or was it taken lightly? Or I'm just curious how someone is able to kind of create something like this and not think that it might come off as racist.
It's hard to say. Like, racism in China is a bit different, I guess. But I mean, obviously, like a lot of Chinese people, they don't have this kind of education, you could say, like about like this kind of racism. Obviously, it's wrong, but like I think in China it's a bit different. People don't like blackface, whiteface. A lot of people don't know about the history behind it, so they don't find that offensive. Maybe they think it's funny. Like a lot of people, they generally don't know the history of it. Like a lot of people never met any like a black person or a white person in their life also.
So they
Like,
wouldn't know,
they
wouldn't know what they might consider as offensive to them, and why it wasn't. Like to them it's just like, oh, dark skin gets washed and it turns light. It like makes sense. It's like a funny joke. But they don't know that it might be like super offensive to someone.
Yeah, which yeah, absolutely. Which also there's a lot of Chinese people find it offensive, like obviously. But I think it translates differently.
Okay, well, I want to add some nuance to this. Do you have the second link with you there?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay.
What?
Belly button. Sing your hair, fingernails did up, abs looking like.
Yo.
I didn't realize how much it was similar. Same music, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, they must stole it, like the Chinese one.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was like a direct copy, I guess, to be honest. But now I guess people are saying, why were people so upset about the Chinese one, but not so upset about this one? I think I have an answer, but I guess, what do you think?
I think it's first of all, I think the Italian one, both both of them are really bad. And the Italian one, I think, was a bit older. I guess maybe that's the reason. It's a bit different, right? They reversed it in a way, so which is making it even, I guess, more offensive for Western countries, which is totally like, I think for some of the Chinese people who don't know anything about it, maybe they don't find that offensive because they must stole it and they just flipped it.
I guess that makes sense if they're like, oh, it wasn't offensive there, so if we just do a similar thing, it wouldn't be offensive for us
Yeah,
either. Okay, so I think
yeah. I mean, both of them are bad, obviously. Yeah,
they're both kind of cringe, right? For sure. I mean, one is very racist, the other one
Yeah.
is a bit cringe. So I think the reason why it's less offensive is because the concept is slightly different, right? The concept with this one is like, oh, I prefer a darker man, right? That's a preference. Now, with the Chinese ad, it's like, yo, this guy is dirty and he got washed clean into a clean Chinese boy, right? That is a more offensive message, right? As opposed to saying this is my
For sure,
preference, it's
yeah.
saying like whatever this guy
Yeah,
is like
absolutely.
dirty, right?
I think I totally agree with you. Yeah, but also I think there's a reason why Chinese people make funny for the mainstream. Like if your skin is really pale, like white people, it's like it's more beautiful. But I think in general, like people think like if your skin is white, it's you look
nicer.
you look better. You look more skinny. Yeah.
I kind of looked into that last video, and yeah, it's kind of fascinating. There are certain cultures, including the country I'm from, they think lighter skin is nicer, but then there are other countries that like this country that we're in that try to get more tanned. It's just it's interesting, like different beauty standards in different countries, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So are you ready with the third link? This one I assume you might also know already, or you might have already seen.
Yeah. It was really big.
意式香炸甜卷儿，欢迎收看《Dos and Governor 洗快吃饭》第2集。今天我们要吃的是传统的西西里香炸甜卷儿。终于有一个尺寸不那么让人手足无措的食物了，这是不是太夸张了？来，拿起筷子，在手里整理成钳子的形状，夹起一根甜卷儿。对你们来说还是太大了吗？你们还可以把一根筷子插进甜卷里面，像这样吃，这会让你感觉自己身在意大利，不过你是在中国。Bravissimo！
Chinese people tools are so silly, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it was really big. That.
There was no translation, but it's something along the lines of, oh, you can't eat that. It's with the chopsticks. Yeah, anything else significant that you might want to translate?
I mean, it also said like, "Is it too big for you?" It's weird. And I remember like, I think the model, the actress, who's also actually Chinese, I think she shared her experience working on this. Like she found it really confusing, like, but she did it anyway. There was really, it was huge. Like, and people were saying like this brand shouldn't like exist in China anymore. But to be honest, they still have shops in Shanghai and also.
See,
probably
this is why I wanted to have
Yeah.
you on, because this is like, and this is quite interesting because when I watched this from like the eyes of like a Westerner or whatever, it's just like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem that offensive to me. It's like I can see why it's offensive, but from my research or my understanding, this was actually like a really big deal in China. This was like super offensive, right?
Yeah.
And it became such a big deal that the CEOs they made a public apology.
I think, but I remember like a lot of people reacted saying like the apology wasn't sincere or whatever. But I didn't watch the apology. I wasn't
Well,
that.
did you see there was also leaked DMs that said China is a country of so I guess after that, when you apologize, it doesn't seem as sincere.
There you go.
You know? Yeah.
But I remember like the brand was was quite popular in China.
I mean, it's a big brand. It's a super big brand
It's
worldwide. Do you forgive them or?
I mean, obviously, like the ad is offensive, but like, there's other offensive stuff. I don't know why like this one got all the like attention.
Yeah, I mean, it was clearly made out of.
To be honest, like for me, like I try to make it as like a funny thing because like racism like is everywhere. So you're trying to like take it lightly or like make it like funny, like find like the funny thing about it.
It's not. It's
trying to
just.
deal with it.
I think
because,
it's
like,
just not that. Like it's like tongue in cheek, but it's just not that entertaining. It's not that funny. I don't know. It didn't hit anything. So the only thing you end up with is just like you guys are so silly with your tools. That's all you end up with. So yeah, it just doesn't work. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Oh, actually, I guess it's related. It's related. In the meantime, there's also this one. It's only
Yeah.
7 seconds long. So just have a look at this one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah. I found it pretty funny, but not in a good way, but like,
It's yeah. Again, it's not like super offensive. It's just like look at these silly tools kind of thing. There is one I'm really excited for you to see.
Neu. Magifix für China-Pfanne.
German ad.
yeah, I think I saw this on
Yeah, well, yeah,
Instagram.
brother.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, not in a good way, but
This
Yeah.
is crazy.
I mean, it's 1988. You saw like it's coming from like the 60s or something.
Yeah, it's totally fine back then.
1988, yeah.
Mit Bambussprossen und der typischen Würzung. Fehlt nur noch das Fleisch.
Mit Magifix was Tolles zaubern. Neu. Magifix für
Yeah.
China-Pfanne.
Yeah, that was
It's
pretty
funny.
funny, man.
It's funny, like, like the food. It doesn't even. I think for most Chinese people, it doesn't look really Chinese. It looks more like
yeah. I mean,
Pad Thai or I
that's.
don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't even know what the food is. It just looked like powder. The thing is, when I watched this the first time, I didn't even understand what was happening
Yeah, it's.
until I
I mean,
realized.
it is pretty funny. Like, yeah, if you're watching now, like, it's it's because it's so racist. Like,
They really thought like
Yeah,
Asian
old-fashioned
people or
racist.
Chinese people were
Yeah.
like just goofy looking, bro.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about
It's
this.
bad.
It's just super funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just super racist, But it's 1988.
but coming from 1988, it's a bit late, I guess. Yeah, like
I think they had no idea. Yeah, I don't want to judge it with today's standards. It just becomes like more funny than upsetting, I guess, because they have like a slight excuse of it being like really a long time ago, which things were a lot less like.
yeah, but
aware.
it is not. It's like 1988. They can do better.
Yeah, you think back then, even for back then, you think
Yeah.
that this shouldn't have happened. Okay, let's see. I think I'm not sure the remaining ones are not so much China or Asian related, but I'm happy for you to
Yeah.
check them out anyway. So this one is called "Freedom is Basic."
It's all about freedom. Finally breaking the chains. Costing my freedom. Freedom is basic. Hoodies.
Hell yeah, brother! Freedom is when we tell you what to wear.
Who made it? Like,
It's like an Israeli
Wow.
like a brand.
That's-
I mean, I don't want to get into
And
the.
and the video is still on. Like, it's on their
That's what
official
shocked me.
YouTube
That's what shocked me
page.
too. They're like
That's
totally
crazy.
with it, and the comments are all negative, Yeah, I mean, obviously they're making some sort of political statement, but at the same time, it's just like it's all too on the nose, if you know what I mean. Like this isn't convincing anyone. Like I don't know, they need to do a better job trying to paint someone in a bad light. All it's saying is, I decide what freedom looks like. This is what freedom looks like. You have to take it off, and then you're free. If you don't do what we think looks free, it's not freedom.
Also, like, it's the music. I don't like the music. Like, the clothes she's wearing is also. I think it's not.
It's not even nice.
good.
It's not even nice. Yeah, there's not much good about it. You're right. It's still, yeah. It almost feels like a statement more than an ad,
Yeah, I agree.
especially with them keeping it up, knowing that no one liked it. Right. I mean, this one is just straight offensive. Nothing funny about it. Nothing. Just like a little bit mind blowing as well. Put something out like that.
I mean, you can still watch it, which is insane. Like,
As soon as their backlash, usually they take it down. They say, "Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, mistake." Yeah, no, they're just like, "No, we knew this was gonna upset people, and it's gonna stay off." Okay, here's the next one. This one also a little bit crazy. little bit funny.
Is this real?
Yeah, real ad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, real ad. I mean, it's a little bit funny. It's just I feel like first of all, the subject to that they chose to make an ad about is it's not a good one, right? Like, let's use terrorism to
Yeah.
advertise our ad. Like,
Yeah.
who are you at? Like, do you think people
Yeah.
are scared? People are blowing themselves up. I don't know what's going on.
Also, it also implies like the terrorist is using their brand, like it's using their car.
Oh, that's
which
true.
Is,
Yeah. Terrorists buy their
like
cars.
normally, right? It's I don't know. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't
Maybe
even think
people
about
would-
that. So I think probably the most offensive part is the casting and the look of the terrorist as well. If you notice,
Yeah. I mean, they know what they're
I mean,
doing. Like,
but I think that these guys are just thinking to themselves, what does a terrorist look like? Probably he has one of these scarves, right? So I think it's just, again, like a matter of like extreme ignorance and dumbness combined with racism. But the funny thing about racism is sometimes racism is very intentional. Like, I wish to be offensive to someone, and sometimes it's out of ignorance. Like, for instance, oh, I'm just making a joke, or why would this be offensive to these people? And it's just like ignorance, and it becomes racist, right? Because this is like probably an old ad, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's like a lot of ignorance. But of course, you have to have a little bit of racism in you in order to be this level of ignorance, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, and I think that's the final one right here.
Hiroshi Nakamura.
Hiroshi Nakamura?
Hiroshi Nakamura.
Hiroshi Nakamura. Japanese.
Japanese from Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Did you know where the Japanese are here?
You know Japanese.
Herkes bu prestije sahip olmak ister.
I think for me, when I was watching this, I was like, yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's fine. You don't expect the guy to speak Japanese, not the biggest deal. And then he hits him with that Japanese face. You saw that moment, right?
Yeah, that's funny.
I think,
I mean, funny in a bad way, but it's really funny.
I think pulling that.
I can't believe how racist it is. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting setup for really funny ad. I think the execution is it ends up being super racist and not, I think, that funny. I think.
Yeah.
Because if you kind of reverse it, like if you think, oh, he's gonna do some like silly Japanese accent, but then he does something different, and or maybe speaking perfectly Japanese, I don't know, something like that. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I think it was close to being a good ad with a good concept. If someone that looks a certain way, sounds a certain way, especially, I don't know how old this ad is, it does feel like early 2000s or whatever, so it could have been good, but just I think the two moments that ruin it, the guy saying, "You're not Japanese," and then he points at his own eyes.
Yeah.
And then the other guy goes, "No, I am," and then he does the Japanese face with the teeth and stuff, and he's like, "Nah, that's not good, man." I think that took it out of being good. What do you think? Is this excusable for like being old?
I mean, how old it is? It doesn't look that old.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
From the way it's shot,
I guess not. It's not old enough.
It's very old-fashioned.
Yeah. It's
old-fashioned.
It's old-fashioned, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say no. It's not excusable. To be honest, I feel like in the West we have a problem with humanizing certain people and countries, right? Often I feel like other countries and people become kind of like caricatures. You know what I mean? And the only time to use them is like in a caricature-like way. You don't take them serious as other human beings. Not to be too serious about it, but just I feel you can see that in some of these ads.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So that was fun. If there are any other ads, racist or otherwise, that you think I should react to, leave them down in the comments and I'll check them out next time.